boucher. I'm giving a bit of a deck à la coupée. I want you, me today. She making me stupid.
Welcome back to our channel. To this video, you already know we're going to be talking about 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After season 5. So we are back at it.
Like a crack at it, fiending for more with the first couple, which is going to be Colt and Jess. So Colt originally started dating Larissa. Larissa is crazy as hell. I mean crazy. He started dating Larissa about, I'd say maybe about a year ago, and they started dating online. He met Larissa online, and they went ahead and met up, and she came over to America, and she's from Brazil. She has a lot of attitude. She's really out there as far as ready to fight. She got brought up on 3 domestic violence charges against Colt. It was just seemed like all these things, her and Colt were just not a perfect match. I mean, it was a very, very toxic relationship that just seemed very out there, and they just needed to stop. That pretty much sums up the relationship. Just tons of drama and fighting and arguing. If we move towards the future now, Colt has a new girlfriend, which is like, wow. I mean, I guess with Colt, I was really surprised because in his situation, Colt is a humongous mama's boy. I kind of understand because I'm kind of a mama's boy too myself, so I guess I get it to a certain extent. But Colt is like triple me of a mama's boy, like to the point where he's like going ahead and checking in with his mom. Like, I was like, that's just weird, but hey, you know what? You love your mom, I respect it, because again, I understand, but you just on a whole nother level that I can't even touch as far as that goes. And with his new girlfriend, he hasn't even told her, which is just like, I haven't even told her yet, like, hey, I am currently dating a new woman. He's scared to tell his mom, and especially scared to tell her he's Brazilian because of Larissa. Larissa was so crazy, and the new woman, if the mom knows again, she's gonna be like, not another Brazilian. Like, I don't want you dating that type of woman. I don't want you bringing home that type of woman. Another thing we see too is we see kind of how the dynamics of how Colt changed. Colt went from being this type of guy who seemed in the beginning when he first met Larissa very wanting to give the girl stuff, wanting to just kind of give in and not really try to fight back. Or it seems like that really changed with him. Now it seems like he has more of a firm personality. Seems like he's really like, okay, you need to tell me this. You need to tell me what's going on in your life. You need to go ahead and take time and tell.
He's being smart and playing safe now.
Yeah, he is. It's a very different type of Colt. I do like the new assertive side of him, but one of the issues is his girlfriend's way younger than him. So again, Colt is 34 and his girlfriend's 26. His girlfriend has the mindset of kind of a younger person. She's around my wife's age, but my wife's a little bit more mature. She wants to go out and party and wants to go out and drink and go and do this. Colt's like, I want to stay home and play video games and watch movies and TV. Surprisingly, Larissa really didn't have too much of an issue with this because Larissa's 33 years old. So she's kind of up in that age bracket where she really just wanted a husband or a boyfriend. But since she's dating somebody younger, you're seeing the clash in that. And also her friends know about Larissa. They know about the past. They have seen the show. So now they're just kind of like, don't date her. Don't date her. Don't date him. Like, please don't date him. Is that you're going to be running into the same issue. He's crazy. Personally, I don't think much is wrong with Colt. I honestly think the biggest problem with Colt is maybe he clings to his mother a little bit too much, and if you want a wife, you have to kind of try to find that balance, and that's where they're going to, where the issue is always going to be with him, is he needs to find that balance as a mama's boy. He can't be like, mom, this, checking in and out 24/7, you know. You don't want to be, I'm going to the movies or going to eat some food and then have to check in with your mom. It's just a weird dynamic, and it definitely just needs to change so he can be able to have a good marriage towards the future.
The next couple I'm going to talk about is Elizabeth and Andrea. So Elizabeth and Andrea met online like they always do. They always meet online and you know, go over and meet up. So Elizabeth met him online and she went to Moldova, right?
Moldova, yeah.
Yeah, so she met him online and he's from Moldova. So she went to meet him in Moldova, and they hit things off in couple of months later. Elizabeth sent for Andrea on a K1 visa. When he came over, they got married. But the problem with this dude, he's so arrogant and very irritating. Like, he's one of the couples on the on 90 Days Fiance season 5 that irritates me. He irritates the mess out of me. Like, he just gets under my skin. The problem I have with him, he's not working. We understand he just came to the US. He doesn't have, well, at the time he didn't have working permit and stuff like that for him to be able to work and support his family. So Elizabeth dad we have a real estate company, and she works with him too. So he helps them a lot. He gave them money, sponsor the wedding, and help them with like their mortgage and stuff like that. So for Andrea to appreciate his father-in-law support and thing, he wants to be arrogant. Oh, I'm the man of this house, and you don't go to your father for this, and you don't do this. I'm like, dude, you don't have money. You working. You're not providing for your family. Keep quiet and appreciate the help and the support that you're getting from your in-laws, and stop being so arrogant and so controlling. If you can start working and supporting your family, then you have something to say. Then you can control your wife. You can control whoever you want to control, because you know where you're standing. You're not gaining support from anyone. But if you don't have anything to say, just keep quiet. So now that they've been married for I think two years now, and they have a little baby, a little girl. So since he's still not working, he's a stay-at-home dad while Elizabeth goes to work and work with her dad. So okay, so the last episode we watched, it was Elizabeth dad's birthday. They invited like the family over to, for them to meet up for her dad's birthday. So Andrea and Elizabeth, while everybody was at the party waiting for them to arrive, like one of the sisters said, they're always late at events and family gathering. So again, once more, they were late. So when they got there, they were eating and just hanging out. Andrea decided to take that opportunity to announce his plan. Like, I have an announcement for you guys. I'm like, okay, we're gonna be getting married in a month in Moldova, and you guys are all welcome to come. Like, everybody like, what? And then even his wife was surprised. Elizabeth was like, what? Are we getting married in a month in Moldova? And no, she said we talked about it, but we didn't come up with a specific date or time frame. When is this wedding gonna take place? And besides, who's gonna sponsor this wedding? You're not working. How is this gonna be done? You're having a wedding that's taking place internationally. Who's gonna sponsor that? So the whole family, they went off. They're like, oh, you can just announce, tell people to come to your wedding within the month. We got kids, we got jobs, we have to plan our life, and it's just not enough time. You're like, well, I told you guys, the floor is open to anyone that wants to come. I'm just saying. So when we went home, Elizabeth didn't like how that, you got to discuss it with your wife first before just jumping into a conclusion and telling the whole family. So she told him, like, I didn't like the way how you just abruptly just now announced our wedding, and we didn't come up with a decision like that. And then he asked the girl, well, can you ask your dad to pay for the wedding, since he's your dad and the girl's family pays for the wedding? So you're gonna ask your dad for the to support us and sponsor the wedding. Like, Elizabeth, like, well, I really don't want to ask my dad about it. Like, well, you don't have a choice. You're the woman, and the woman family pay for the wedding. So I said to myself, like, you're here making all these plans, like big wedding, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be so much this and that. You don't have a penny to sponsor this wedding. You're making all these plans. Like, really, Andrea, you're just so interesting and irritating and so arrogant. Yeah. So that was the summer for Andrea and Elizabeth. At this point, they're like planning to do that big wedding in Moldova. Her dad agreed to like sponsor the wedding. Moving on to the next couple, I'm also going to talk about Kalani and Asuelo. So Kalani was 30-year old or 32-year old, somewhere around there. She was a virgin, and she went to this island on a vacation in Samoa, and she was a virgin at that time, and she met a swallow there, and she a swallow hit it off, and she lost her virginity to him, and she got pregnant. She got pregnant right away too, so she came to the U.S. and she sent for a swallow on the K-1 visa as well. He came over, they got married, but the problem with this guy, he is so childish. Well, he's young too, but there's
24.
there's few 24-year-old guys that very mature and stuff. But for him, he acts like a kid. He's very immature. And another problem that could be that could result in that too is because he's from a village or island that's very remote, and there's not a lot of civilization over there, so it's kind of hard for him to adapt to this big American world and everything going on around here. So he's struggling with trying to fit in the American life and becoming a dad and taking care of that, his kids and his wife and all that stuff. So it's hard for him. At this point, they have him up from the ice cream shop and from his job. And on the way back, when she asked me, "Oh, how was the work?" and he said it was fine. And I did a ice cream sample and blah blah blah. Just talking about his day and all of that. So when they got home, this guy opened the car, walked out of the car, went in the house, and left the two kids. He left the two babies in the car seat while the girl had to grab both kids. And he didn't even leave the door open. No, he shut the door, went downstairs. Kalani coming in with the two babies trying to get the door open. I'm like, what is wrong with this dude? It's common sense. You could just grab one of the kids, go in there, and just help the girl. You want to have kids, but yet you don't want to be responsible and take responsibility. Then don't have kids then, Swallow. So we need to do something, romantic, just the two of us, like on a romantic date, go see a movie or something like that. So this dude decided to set up makes this day special for the Kalani. So he came walking in the room, he brought roses and gave it to her, handed it over to her. She's like, "It smells good." He's like, "That's the smell of my love." Like, "That's the smell of my love." She's like, "Oh, okay." She was all dressed up in her pretty summer dress, ready to go on a romantic date. Because he told her, "Yeah, we're going on a romantic date, just me and you, and your mom and dad's gonna take care of the kids. We're just gonna go have fun and just celebrate." So they got in the car and he drove to this place, and she saw. When they got to the place, it wasn't a restaurant. It was a place where they threw the ices on the wall, on the wood or something. So she's like, "Is this your romantic date?" She said, "Yeah. Don't you like it?" She's like, "Okay, I guess." She said, "I was expecting to go to like a fancy restaurant or go to a movie or something. But if this is your definition of romantic, I guess let's go." That was it for Aswelu and Kalani.
Talk about Sanjay and Tanya. These two are a trip to me personally. I honestly really like Sanjay though. He's very free spirited. He loves to party. He loves to have fun. Tanya's really uptight. These two personalities are very interesting because you have one person on the other end who's like really uptight, and then you have another person who is really outgoing and really like to go out and party, go out and enjoy themselves. But one thing the way they met is they both love to drink, they love to party. They both met each other in South Africa. That's how their relationship started. I think they started dating for about like 8 months, and then he came over here to, he decided he wanted to come to the USA. So when he came to the USA, one of the big issues is that she didn't know whether he was 100% her soulmate. She didn't like the factor that he didn't want to have kids. She also didn't like the factor that he has lots of dreams. This is where I compare to Sanjay, as I'm a dreamer. I really am, and I understand that. Like, I'm one of the type few people who love. I like to dream about everything. I want to do so many things in my life. I honestly don't think there's nothing wrong with it, but also too, I understand where Tanya's coming. At some point, you do need to have a job. You need to be stable. You need to pay bills, and you need to be an adult. But it should go like this: 8 to 5, 9 to 5, then dream. that's how it should be until you can get off your feet. You need to take care of responsibility. So the big issue with these two is that's why the relationship was having trouble. But they decided to get married anyway with all this problems. I'm gonna do a quick summary of them. They decided to get married. Once they got married, they went ahead and decided to start living their life. In this new episode with Sanjay and Tanya, it looks like they just purchased like an apartment, but they don't.
A house.
Or a house actually, and they don't have a job, which is crazy in my opinion. But I think they have a very thick savings, so I think they're hoping just to stay off that for a while. Surprisingly, from what I looked online, Tanya has a bachelor's degree. And actually, I think it's like in communication or something like that. She actually has a really good degree. She can go out and get a pretty decent job. And he has a really extensive background in working in bars and grills. The problem with, she doesn't want him working in a bar and grill because he used to drink a lot and get in fights with people and arguments. But he said in South Africa, he's like, there's really no rules or regulations. Like in America, you can't pick up a drink and start drinking at a bar. I've been to plenty of bars. Like most bartenders can't even open up alcohol like at the back. Like they will look at you and say, sorry. Like if you're doing that, we were just gonna assume you're drinking. There's a lot of rules and laws against that. But with those two, the problem here is that she's scared that he's going to go back to doing that in America and he can get in a lot of trouble here. So that's where the difference is like in South Africa, you could get away with doing these things on a job if you're working in a bar or a club, but you can't get away with doing that stuff here in America. She's also worried about him drinking a beer at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, or worried about him constantly going out or constantly staying out. She wants him to get some sort of other job. But I can kind of understand why it's important for him to have this job, because they need income right now. This isn't really a situation where he can go out and just get any type of job. A bartender, you can make good money pretty fast, and honestly enough money to sustain yourself until you get leveled off. But I know if he has a problem in the past, that's going to be an issue. Another problem that we've seen too with Sanjay and Tanya, Sanjay found out more about now. She hurt her leg into when she had a car accident, and now he's really mad about that because it's kind of like he has to pick up all the pieces, and then on top of that, he has to deal with the factor that Tanya, she seems like she can be very, very strict sometimes and really in your face and just expect so much. And instead of giving the guy time to grow and develop. And personally, I think they shouldn't have got married anyway. If one, you want kids, you don't think the guy can grow up right now and he still wants to party and drink and still do things. These are things that you need to figure out before you get married. You don't jump into a marriage and just hope for the best. That just never works. But they're still married from what I can see. He may come around, and I think that's what she's hoping. And the moment being, I think with these two, I think they have a chance in having a good marriage. But with him, he will have to learn to not. He can still keep his free spirit and still have beers here and there. But those two have to compromise. She has to stop being very uptight all the time, and he needs to stop being so extremely free spirit. He needs to be in the middle as far as being free spirit, and she needs to be in the middle as far as being uptight. And I think that relationship will work. The next people we're going to talk about is Angela and Michael. So Angela is really crazy out there. She's like yelling at Michael and always screaming at him.
She's so controlling.
Yeah, she's very controlling. They've been together for about 2 or 3 years. Broke up, came together. Broke up, came together. The funny thing about their story is that she's 54 and he's like 30. And the hilarious aspect of this is we all know he's trying to get to America because he's staying with this woman for so long. A lot of people think they may actually like each other, which may be possible. I'm pretty sure she grew on to a certain extent. I imagine after 3 years, even if it's fake, you figured the dude would have gave up. But they're getting fame from this. They're getting money. They're getting things from being on the show. So I do believe Angela really cares for her, like, deeply. Michael may have some sort of connection, but I don't think it's like super.
100%.
Yeah, it's not legit in any way, in my opinion. I mean, the dude consistently gets caught in the past with kind of talking to girls on Instagram and things like that. It's a matter of just him trying to get out of there. into America. And the funny thing about it is, I'm assuming the ambassadors or whatever over in Africa, they watch that show 90 Day. They have to, because the hilarious aspect of it is they keep on denying Michael. I don't even think Michael has a criminal background or anything. Like, I think that they denied him because they're like, we're not letting you come over here. Why are we gonna let you come over here and we can see on TV that this is all fake? Come on.
Well, again, I don't know. I don't like how they deny him though. Don't most 90 Day Fiance couples that came on this K1 visa, majority of them came for the green card too. Why didn't they refuse them? Why Michael?
I don't know. I'm like, who really knows? I'm just assuming. Michael and Angela have been on the show for like 3 or 4 years. They're kind of one of the vets on the show. But in those two as a couple, man, they're just crazy. We'll go in more detail later on them. We're gonna jump in and talk about. So Paul is Paul, man. He is a trip, man. Paul's another one who needs to grow up. He's one of those guys who constantly stays under his mother and he doesn't really want to take responsibility. And Karini, a lot of times seemed very childish, but in my opinion, I think she kind of grew up. He met Karini online, and they just started dating and talking to each other. He decided to go over to Brazil and pursue a relationship with them. He even decided he wanted to stay over there. The problem with being in Brazil is that he couldn't make enough money to sustain them over there, which is obvious. He doesn't even know how to speak the language. Karini has officially got to a point where she can speak good enough English, but beforehand she couldn't even speak English. It was just all over the place.
They're using a translator.
Yeah,
like
they
Google
were.
Translator.
They're not anymore. It's been about, I think, 2 years now, and she has got to the point where, like the way me and my wife are talking, they can talk. She can talk very clear at this point, which is good. So now they want to get up in these new episode and move back to America. But from what we can see with Paul's wife, she just seems very clueless to American culture. Like, she takes the baby out of the car seat and then just puts him up right here and as they're driving. You could do stuff like that. You actually could have done that like 60, 70 years ago in America. But if they see you do that, that is like a huge fine. That's possible even jail time, taking a baby out of a car seat. You know that as an American, but you would never know that if you're in a foreign country, especially if they don't enforce those type of rules. So it's going to be interesting to see her coming over. It seems like he always been on her own turf because he kept going over Brazil. I think, but the funny thing about it is, since he always been on her own turf, she's always yelling at him, always screaming at him, always trying to get him to fit in over there in Brazil. But I find it interesting how it's going to be when he comes to America. Is he actually going to be able to take care of his family? Is he going to be able to hold down a job? I know he lied a couple of times about having a certain type of job when he really didn't even have a certain type of job. All he did was some few like janitor jobs and a couple other things. It was just kind of all over the place. It's like with those two as a couple, all I can say is it's going to be insanely crazy.
I think it's going to be crazy too because they're going to be living with his mom, Karini and Paul. They're going to be with his mom, and I'm pretty sure they're going to butt head.
Oh, definitely.
Well, until he can find his own place. His mom agreed for them to be with them for some time, temporarily, not permanently, because she knows that Paul, if she didn't put the rules down, he's just gonna be there forever.
Yeah, he will. The dude has no get up, no drive, no go. He's just kind of there and just hoping for the best. But anyway, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We got quite a bit of reviews and likes from the 90 Day Fiance. The other
we're gonna come out. We're gonna do another episode on 90 Day Fiance the other way, like in few days.
Yeah.
But this one is the Happy Day Ever After season 5. Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Peace.